What is up, you guys? We are back. It is episode 24 of the DISHIN podcast. We got into our Catwalk for charity with the Buffalo Sabres and Ryan Miller. We also talked about 59-50 Day. It's going to be coming up here on May 9th, as well as some playoff talk.
It was a short one, super quick, short, sweet, and to the point. Episode 24 is live. Let's get into it. All right, welcome back to another episode of the DISHIN podcast, episode 24.
Kobe.
Let's go. It is like 8:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. Super stoked to be here. This is the last podcast before the NHL playoffs. But before we get into that, let's... That's so funny over there. We're cutting to that.
Just swallowed my coffee really bad.
Well, it's time to wake up. Anyways, let's get into this Catwalk for charity recap real quick. Let's recap that whole event, everything leading up to it. Where do we start?
Yeah, where do we start? Awesome event put on by the Sabres and Ryan Miller. Catwalk for charity, huge success. I mean, between us, New Era, 26 Shirts, Cafe, Vintage Raider, I think everything top to bottom was pretty unbelievable. What a fun night, too, that was.
Yeah, everything was fun leading up to it, too. Like the first couple meetings with the team, everybody that was involved in the event, and then also having you guys go on Daytime Buffalo. That was pretty cool, going in the Channel 4 studio there with Chelsea and Cafe and the Vintage Raider and Dell from 26 Shirts. Super cool experience. It was kind of like a little press run, too, kind of leading up to the event.
Mm-hmm.
But and then, yeah, the event was last week. Raised a ton of money for charity, which was super cool. Had a lot of Buffalo Sabres legends and alumni in the building at Seneca 1. That was super cool. And, yeah, just so many things went on during the event that I feel like stuck out to a lot of us.
Yeah, let's talk about some of those legends.
Yeah.
Derek Roy, Cody Hodgson, obviously Miller was there, Tim Connolly.
Pat Coletta, friend of the show.
The OG. Yep.
Pat was firing on all cylinders that night.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
always firing.
Ryan Miller is like really a legend around here, and a lot of people love him. He is the definition of icon here, sports icon. I mean, the fact that he still comes here every year and is somewhat involved in the community just shows a lot.
Yeah, he did so much more than play for the Sabres too. Just most winningest goalie in USA history, which is unbelievable. And yeah, I feel like for me, like I can't really distinguish. Like I think of Ryan Miller as a player. I think of him like with his mask on, just like sitting back in the crease, and then like you see him at an event or something like this, and it's like it's kind of hard to look at him and think that he's the same person that was tending the pipes back then.
I know. He just like he's so tall. I just felt like he was like floating above everyone, not like as a person, but just like he was just like looking over everyone, and it was just like he was always there. It was funny.
Yeah. Even talking to him like at the event and stuff. Everything leading up to it. We met him for breakfast on one day, and we're going over all the details of the event and everything. And yeah, I think that was the most fun, is just like the lead up of it and just kind of preparing, and yeah, and then like the night of just being able to see everybody kind of all mingle and hang out, to kind of just chat about like old times and everything. And yeah, for all the boys too, like everybody on our team to be able to, kind of interact with those guys and talk to them and kind of pick their brain on some different stories and what they meant for, their motivation, everything coming up and not playing hockey. That was pretty sweet. And, I want to say shout out to our team too. Everybody that ran the table did a great job with that, and just kind of, just having a good time throughout the evening. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. And also we had Jason Woolley too coming in. He came to the shop the night before the event, which we waxed you guys, by the way, in bubble hockey. And he told me to mention that on the next podcast. So if you're watching, Jason, yes, I thrown some digs here, but no, it was super fun, and just to hear some stories of back in the day, how kind of things were, and the game was a lot different too. Like there was a lot of things that were ran differently back then up until now. Players' approach, coaches' approach, things like that. So cool to hear from those guys, man.
Yeah, for sure. Pat Coletta introduced me to Larry Quinn, so that was pretty sick. And I already knew a lot about him before, just kind of him in his heyday being president. He was actually the president twice here. But, just stuff like that is really humbling for me to be able to meet somebody of that caliber. And, Yeah, it's cool for all those guys to come back because I don't know, it's kind of full circle. Like Lindy's the coach again, and they have the game on in the background or whatever. But yeah, just pretty sweet throughout the whole night, just to have those guys all walk around, and just like be that approachable. You could walk up to them and just chat with them or whatever.
I wanted to ask you guys too, because Benny brought this up to me the night of the show when he said that Larry Quinn was there. Did you guys listen to the interview that Larry Quinn did on After the Whistle with Peters and Reve?
I haven't caught it yet, but I've been meaning to listen to it. It's on my queue in my Spotify, actually.
If you haven't listened to that, go listen to that. It is like there's a lot of cool stories in that, and I didn't realize how involved that guy really was around Buffalo. And then also like in the game, I know we talked a little bit with Miller on, how he was trying to make changes in the game with like the hockey nets and things like that. Behind closed doors, there's so many things you don't see. And I think that was one of those things that was kind of a hidden gem here for a long time. And it was cool just to hear his story, his background, and, the things that he did in Buffalo. And also, too, the things he kind of went through, being in his position that he was in with the Sabres. It's not easy being in that role. A lot of hard days come with that. And they actually asked him a question, too, about when he retired, if he missed it and if there was things that he did. And he said he wasn't like he's retired, but he's not retired. He's constantly doing things. He's constantly staying busy. And that's cool to see because it really shows that like he loves what he does. And he said it's, even though he's away from the game, there's still stuff that he stays involved with and, keeps up on. He says it's hard to really kind of throw that stuff away. So,
yeah, I won't ruin the interview if anybody listening hasn't listened to it yet. But how about how he got his start with the Sabres too? He was involved in the project. So he was an architect before, and then he was involved in the project with Seymour Knox, and he was working on the waterfront project, building the arena downtown, and he came in to see the blueprint layout for the arena and everything, and he just told Seymour he didn't like it or that it could be improved and be a lot better. And I think Seymour just like walked out of the room and kind of threw his hands up, and then Seymour called him a couple days later and asked him to come be a part of the entire project. So I think that stuff, like, to me is really powerful and just goes to show like just being authentic, being honest, being truthful with yourself can just lead to so much more opportunity. And yeah, for him, I mean, look at everything it turned into.
Yeah.
Just an unbelievable guy.
And too, like back then, a lot things like that I feel like were not as easy to get done. Like, I mean, in today's day and age, we've got social media, we have email, we have text, phone call, FaceTime, all this stuff. Like, it's so much easier to get in contact with people. Whereas back then, I mean, you got to write letters, you got to make a phone call, leave a voicemail, and then you got to wait to get a phone call back. So, very interesting to see how they moved in that time.
Yeah, him and Peters and Reve, I think they did a great job. Just like, I don't know, talking about different stories and stuff, and it's fun to look back on that stuff. And yeah, like I had listened to that before the Catwalk, so, and I've done a lot of research about him, like leading up to the event and everything. So yeah, that was extremely inspiring for me to be able to talk to him, and excited for what's to come.
For sure, man. And I mean, hopefully we can have him at the shop someday. I know you said you briefly spoke to him, so we'll see what happens there. And super inspiring guy, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Super inspiring, very well rounded, and kind of all ties back to everything we do here too, in a way where you shoot your shot and you never know. It's the worst people could say is no.
Yep.
So,
culture, team, it's all the same things. Like whether it's big business or small business or just creativity, everything, it's all tied together.
Yeah. But back to the Catwalk. I know we got off on a little tangent there, but do you guys have any favorite moments from that? I know you finally met Benny the Butcher for the first time. That's been a long time coming. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we were just backstage, kind of just chilling, and I don't know, you said what up to him. I've met him like once or twice before, but you have a good relationship with him or whatever, and yeah, I was just showing him some of the new era stuff we have coming out this fall, and he's like, oh damn, you got all those earth tones in there, like those are sick, like I gotta tap in with you. And so I just was showing him some of the more recent work that we've done and everything, and got his number or whatever, got to reach out to him and lock in with some of the design stuff we're going to be doing with him. But yeah, just dope like that to meet him backstage and whatever, just like other guys that were popping around the Catwalk and stuff. But yeah, Cool event. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool little opportunity to meet him like that.
Yeah.
I'd say Peter's bringing down the house almost was probably my favorite moment.
Mm-hmm.
Started off real strong. Just walked right through the curtain and just kept walking and almost took the whole thing with him. But true Andrew Peters fashion, he gives a little cheers and walks back. It was quick, but it was funny. I think we might have a clip of it somewhere.
Yeah, you should run that clip, the whole interview of him walking out. And yeah, he tried to like walk through the curtain itself, aside from just like walking through the regular entrance, and the whole thing pretty much came crashing down.
Dude, Matt and I were backstage for that too, and saw that happening, and we were in tears because we're just like at first trying not to laugh, and then finally we're just like, screw it, like this is hilarious.
And of course he's our model too, so it's our look going out there through that.
He was our introduction.
Yeah,
the first one that walked for us.
Yeah. So we started off real hot, and but it was great, and I think our boy Anthony really crushed it. I think everyone was really surprised when a goalie rolled out in full gear. I know he sweat his ass off during that, so but. Cool moment for him. I was talking with him backstage, and he said that his whole room was filled with Ryan Miller stuff. So for him to get a cool moment like that, and that's what it's all about. So it was a great look, and I think just a really cool move on your part, Matt, thinking of a full goalie gear instead of just the traditional walk, because could have just had him in a big goalie jersey in the stick, and it was really well put together.
Appreciate that. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I wanted to do something different. That's what we did for the first runway show we did too, and I don't know, really enjoy doing stuff that's just kind of different. That's that I think the crowd would enjoy, and kind of just goes back to our brand as a whole.
Yeah, it was cool seeing the reactions from the crowd too when he rolled out. So everyone's like, "Oh."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did a great job, man. He's such a great kid. He's the OJHL goalie for people that don't know. Anthony Alessi. He knows Pat, and he knows a lot of those guys. He's been around the organization for a little bit now, and excited to see where he goes from here. But just another example of just like somebody we're able to bring in, but just kind of understands the vision and the role, and gets really fired up and passionate about it. And I think for me and for us, it makes it pretty easy when guys are on board like that, and kind of fits the whole bill for everything. I mean, we had the custom jersey, he had all the pads and everything. He had the Levi pads, he had the blocker, the catcher, he already had the helmet. He used my rollerblades, so yeah, everything like that. When it's all set up for you on a tee, it makes it pretty easy.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say he stole the show with rolling out for sure.
For sure,
and that whole setup was just fire.
I was gonna say that was one of the more sick goalie setups I think I've ever seen. So,
and then we had Chef Darian too.
Yep, Chef Darian had a great look too. He had the white goat head Ryan Miller jersey, matched with the old school Nike Quest gloves and the DISHIN stick. And then he styled everything else. He had the hat, the pants, the shoes, the Alexander McQueens. Yeah, he went all out, and he was like swinging the stick around and everything, and he had some fun with it as well. And we know Chef from a couple of years ago, and we've done a little bit of work with him. So yeah, shout out to Chef Darian.
He understood the assignment
for sure.
Yeah, he came fitted. Like almost the fit that he showed up in, I was like, oh man, I feel bad making him like change out of this. He had quite the fit that he rolled up in. He had like some fancy pants and stuff like that. Like he was rocking it.
Yeah. Him and Ryan had a pretty cool giveaway they were doing the night of the event too. It was a private dinner from him, and Ryan Miller's your guest. And my dad was like all over that throughout the whole night. He was like, I don't know if he bid it on it or what, but that was like, can you imagine if Miller and Chef Darian came out to Albion for a private night? That'd be pretty funny.
With your dad.
It's like you and 8 guests, I think. So I don't know who ended up winning it, but yeah, they had some pretty cool live auction stuff. They gave away a puppy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, were they auctioning off a puppy?
Yeah,
I saw Ryan. I just saw a picture because like we were backstage getting stuff. Like I think we were helping Anthony out, but I saw like photos of like Ryan with a puppy, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I think they've done that before, and Ryan had said it's always been a hit. So, yeah.
If it works, it works. But
Yeah, and I think uh, Jam was talking to somebody that I think the woman that got the dog and said that her dog, she had a dog before and passed away like a year ago. So yeah, I think it always finds its way into a good hand, good hands of an owner and everything. So yeah, pretty cool. It kind of just goes to show like the type of people that come out to the event, just like really, people that are welcoming and want to support a great cause and have all the proceeds donated and everything. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, speaking of proceeds too, I saw a tweet from Matt Beauvais, and he said it was the day after the event. He said that the event has raised, throughout all the years that Ryan's been doing this, they've raised over $1 million. So I don't know what the number was this year, but I'd imagine it was pretty large.
Mm-hmm.
Just with all the people that showed up. I think there were over 400 tickets sold. There was definitely like over 400 or 500 people at this event.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. But yeah, super cool to be a part of, though. So shout out to the Sabres and shout out to Rich, Carrie Ann, and everyone involved with the Buffalo Sabres organization for allowing us to be involved in this. And shout out to all the brands, too, that were involved. We had, again, Dell from 26 Shirts, Chase from Cafe, the Vintage Raider. And yeah, such a cool opportunity for us. And we're excited for the next one. The community involvement's been really fun for us to be a part of over the years.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Rich, Carrie Ann did a great job on it. And Rich said in his email, I don't know how we're going to top it next year. We'll have to come up with some new ideas and stuff. But
I do want to give a quick shout out because on the way to the Catwalk last week, I got a flat tire and I needed 4 new tires because my tires were just bald. And it was a very stressful first 2 hours for me at this event. And I saw Brad from Wester saw Brad from Wester at the event and kind of told him, hey, what was going on, because I was kind of in a rush trying to get a tow truck and things like that. And he was like, hey, listen, like, have them tow the car over to Wester Ford in Hamburg, and we'll take care of you. We'll make sure you get 4 tires on, and you'll be good to go by tomorrow. And they were great, dude. They made my life so much easier going there, and just getting the tires put on. I got my car back in less than 24 hours. So shout out to everybody at Wester, man, because they're great people over there. But that kind of leads me into, again, I want to talk a little bit about that. I think we talked about it a while ago, but you hung that picture up, so it just made me think of it.
yeah, that's a small piece of the full mural that we have at Bill Gray's in Rochester. But yeah, pretty cool piece. That was with the artist. His name's Sims X out of Rochester that I know a little bit, and we've been able to do some work together. But yeah, some cool details in there. If you're ever at the old ESL in Rochester, you can pop by and see it on the MCC campus. But yeah, did you guys see Wester had a post up the other day of like the Scott Beeler action figure?
Yes. Adam brought that up to me yesterday.
I did not.
But there's like some little piece in there that everybody was commenting about. I think it might have been like his car or something. I don't know. But I think it was like a little bit of an inside joke and Scott Beeler's the CEO of the company. I don't know the joke, but if you do know the joke, Wester, go check it out because it had a lot of love on social. I saw this weekend.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
He's another one that does a lot of community work.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Another local legend.
Yeah, Wester is a great company. We've done a lot of work with them over the years. Our earliest work was through the Micah Hyde softball game, and we always do stuff with them on their content activations and stuff with their players, Team Wester. More notably with the stuff that we did at ESL with the wall wrap there, and yeah, always more to come with them. So
yeah,
excited. Always trying to get them more into hockey. I really think there's like, you've said this before, like the hockey mom type stuff with like the big SUVs and just throwing a bag in the back of a car. You can't really have like a small car when you're on the road traveling to tournaments and stuff. So yeah, I always think there's more that we can do with them on the hockey side of things. But yeah, we know them for a football brand that they are right now, and Team Wester and everything. But maybe we get Tage or Rass signed to a Team Wester deal with them.
That would be cool. But no, seriously, the people at Wester are great. Derek, I know you've gotten the chance to work with some folks at Wester. So again, shout out to Brad and everybody over at Wester.
5950 Day is back, May 9th at New Era, 160 Delaware. We've done this the past 1 or 2 years now. Was last year our first year with New Era for 5950 Day? Yeah, so we're back again. A new hat with New Era for 5950 Day. I think we showed it on the last episode, but it's going to be really dope. It's pretty much going to be call it a reverse retro, the one that we did last year. We got the DISHIN word mark on the front, smiley hat in the back, and one of my favorite pieces of the hat this year is going to be the side patch, which is really sick. It's an old school like 5950 day sticker, but it's all embroidered. All the verbiage, everything says 5950 days. So as you guys know, these are super exclusive. These are only sold in store. So if you want one of these, you got to pop out on May 9th to the New Era flagship store and pick one up. They're going to be super dope. They're all fitteds, obviously, for 5950 day. And yeah, this will be a little bit of a teaser for what we have to come this fall. I know we have some other stuff in the works with New Era right now that actually just dropped last week, which are some women's hats and as well as the Icebreaker hoodies, which are also available at the store too. So be sure to pick those up. And like I said, those are little teasers for what's to come this fall with the big project we're doing with them.
Brittany grabbed a women's hat, and it's very nice. It looks great.
Nice.
I think everyone should go out and grab one for their lady.
Yeah.
It's a nice look and good fit, I think.
For sure. Good colorway, nice fit. I do love how the women hats fits too. Yeah, those are a great fitting hat. I think they're an M crown.
Yep.
Yeah.
Playoff hockey is here. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Already.
It's been a quick year.
Not here, but like in the league.
Yeah, in the league. Yeah.
Felt like the year flew by, but it was a busy year. So
Yeah. Who do you guys got winning the cup?
Winning the cup? I don't know. I haven't even looked at the bracket yet. Who's in there?
Yeah, it's tough. I know.
I'm gonna make my bold prediction.
Well, hang on. Before we start, can you? Because I don't have my phone. Do you just like let us know who's in? We'll let Matt know who's in.
Yeah. So you just want the teams?
I'll tell you who I think's gonna move on and who I think's gonna get bounced.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
We got who's clinched. I'll go with who's clinched so far. We've got the East is pretty much set. We've got Toronto, Tampa, Florida, Washington being the 1 seed, Carolina, New Jersey, Ottawa, and the last 2 spots being battled out are Montreal and Columbus right now. And then in the West, we've got Winnipeg, who won the President's Trophy, so they're 1 in the West. Dallas, Colorado, Vegas, LA, Edmonton, and then there's a 3-way battle for the wild card of Minnesota, St. Louis, Calgary. So 2 of those teams are going to make it in.
All right, I think Dallas is going to get bounced first round. I think Ottawa's going to move on. I don't even know what Dallas is seeded, but they have not been playing well down the stretch. They gave up that crazy 3-goal lead in like the last minute to whoever that was, I think. Right?
Wait, are you talking? I mean, they're clinched already, Dallas.
Yeah, they've been clinched.
Okay. I don't want to be the guy that kind of calls you out a little bit, but I don't know if you heard, but Derek may have heard. When Jason Woolley was at the shop the other day, he said he's very close with Brendamore, and he said that once these teams clinch, they don't give up.
Yeah.
About like the rest of the games. So I don't know if I don't know if that has something to do with Dallas maybe losing. Maybe they're not dressing their guys. I don't know. And I'm not trying to like call you out, but
yeah.
I never really thought of that until he brought that up. Like when teams clinch, like Brendamore like did not give a fuck about the rest of the season. That's what he said. And I'm just quoting what I heard. I'm not saying like I talked to Brendamore. I'm just saying that's just what I heard from Jason. Jason apparently is very close with this guy. So I don't know. I don't know if all teams in the league are like that. I don't think I would be like that if I was a coach, but who am I? But I don't know.
I got
not to call you out.
I got my bold prediction, and I've been on the train for a minute. I think we're just gonna see a nice back-to-back year of Ovi breaking the record and Ovi winning a Stanley Cup.
Wow.
I like that.
That would be sick.
They're playing well. They've played really well consistently. They're scoring high-scoring games. Ovi's playing well. The team chemistry you can see is top-notch. I mean, you've seen so much. I feel like we've seen more off-ice stuff from them than on-ice stuff. And that's a huge part. They're playing really well in the last, month and a half specifically. The only thing that concerns me is that they are very young, so playoff experience could be a problem there. But I think if they keep scoring and playing at the pace that they do, the East isn't terribly difficult. I think they can at least make conference finals, but I think that they can probably go to the Cup. So I think it could be. I'm gonna say Colorado, Washington final.
Wow. I
Yeah.
like that. Isn't
That'd be sweet.
Landeskog back too? No, he's back in the A.
He's back in the A. We'll see what Colorado does. I mean, they kind of did the same thing with him the last time he was ready. They kind of put him in playoff games, and he got hurt more. So I don't think it'll be interesting to see how they handle his situation because it's not a normal situation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how often does a captain go for a conditioning run in the AHL? Like, it doesn't happen very often. So it's weird to begin with. So I don't know how they'll handle it. I'd say if we even see him, probably second round, maybe conference finals. So
I could see Carolina going pretty far. I think they're I feel like they're a little underrated. Again,
Carolina, Washington, Eastern Conference Finals would be nasty.
that would be sick.
Especially they've had some great games the
the-
last few games they've played each other.
I was going to say, too, the Sabres fan in me doesn't like to admit this, but I could see Ottawa at least getting into the second round. I don't know how they do in the second round, but I really liked what I saw from Brady Tkachuk at Four Nations, and I think that he is going to be a very fun player to watch in playoff hockey. And I don't know, like, we've seen them play throughout the year. They've had good games, they've had bad games, but again, I think the playoff hockey is just such a different beast in itself, and I think a lot of players kind of shine from that. I mean, we're going to see some guys who've never been in the playoffs before play too, so it'll be interesting to see how those guys pair up. But I wanted to talk about your point too with Dallas, because if Dallas gets bounced the first round, that would not be a good look for them.
It's Dallas.
Just like
It's
that.
Dallas, Colorado. So it's not like it's an easy first matchup.
It's definitely not, but also at the same time, I don't know. I feel Dallas has gone on a run almost every year the past couple of years now, right? Like last year they were in Western Conference Finals, and they probably should have won that, right?
Yep. Yeah, even more of a likely scenario would they get bounced. Never know. We'll see.
Toronto, Ottawa, first round. If that plays out, could be an incredible matchup.
Do you guys think Toronto makes it past the first round?
No.
I think they do actually go on a magical little run this year. And I think they're due for it. I think they, coming off what they did last year, just, I don't know. They are always just, like, so pressurized. They always just have, like, so much large expectations around everything they do. I feel like, I don't know, what do they have to lose this year? Honestly, if they get bounced first round, they're probably going to lose Marner. Probably going to tear it down and try to figure it out again. But, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of went on a little bit of a streak here and got hot down the stretch and see what they could do. They, I think Matthews has been pretty banged up like throughout the year already. He obviously isn't playing healthy, and I think they've been able to find ways to win without him being 100%. So, I don't know. Their team looks a little bit different to me this year, and they've already been in the playoffs. You know, they've had that experience for the past few years already. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to see them going around.
Yeah, and Marner, too. I feel like he's kind of had a pretty good year, too, just really stepping up.
Mm-hmm.
He was buzzing at Four Nations. We saw that, right? Yep. Comes back, and I think I don't know, and you guys might have to correct me if I'm wrong, but after Four Nations, he had an overtime winner for Toronto, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he's been kind of buzzing for them. So, you know, hopefully they could find their spark and, like you said, go on a magical run.
Last time that the Bruins and Detroit or Bruins and Rangers didn't make the playoffs was like 1967 or something like that, and that's the last time that Toronto's won the cup. So
it's the first time in NHL history there's 3 original 6 teams that haven't made the cup.
Yep.
Or haven't made the playoffs.
Yeah, Detroit, Boston and the Rangers. So
I saw a tweet the other day too that was saying that that's very good for the game.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
would-
because you have different markets that are thriving.
Yeah. Yeah. And the last thing I'll say too, I think Florida's going to be fun to watch during the playoffs. I feel like there's a lot of depth
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yeah,
So-
Florida's they're always built for playoff success, I feel like.
wrap it up.
Cool. Well, that was episode 24 of the DISHIN podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.